Everybody, happy Make Your Move Monday. Yep, Tuesday edition. Yesterday I was traveling, and then I also had a new home in orientation for one of my buyers that's buying a new home this week. So I was not able to jump on here Monday, but I am coming to you live all the way from Durham, North Carolina on this cold, rainy Tuesday morning for the special Tuesday edition of Make Your Move Monday. So since I had my orientation yesterday and also the home inspection was actually yesterday morning, I wanted to come on and just talk a little bit about home inspections and why you should get a home inspection. So, um, I go back to myself when I bought my not my first home, my second home that I live in currently. It was new construction, and I was like, "Oh, it's new construction." And I was a realtor, full disclosure, brand new in the industry, maybe not brand new, but a year or two in the industry. And I was like, "Oh, I don't need a home inspection. It's new construction. They're having their own inspectors and things like that." And to this day, I really wish that I had gotten a home inspection. We had gotten a home inspection because in my kitchen there was this dip um, for years, and I am convinced that had I taken the time and invested, and I said invested, the money to get a home inspection while it was being built, that dip would have been caught, and I would not have had to have dealt with that for years until we finally, I don't remember when we finally got it repaired, but that dip is gone now. But had I had a home inspection, that probably would have been caught and resolved. So since I started there, let me talk about the home inspection. First of all, before that, a home inspection it's an investment. It's You have to pay for that to get that done. There are several parts to inspections. There's your general home inspection that will come in, and do understand that it is a snapshot in time. So it doesn't mean that just because it worked today that tomorrow it will be working, but it's definitely worth the investment to get that done. So the home inspector is going on a general home inspection. They will come through, they're going to look at everything in the house. They're going to check the roof, the crawl space, the slab, see if there's any cracks. They're going to open the windows, put something, hopefully. And I did find out that not all inspectors go through and put something in every outlet. I think the minimum code in Durham for inspectors, not Durham, in North Carolina, is to check one outlet. So that's something when you get ready to schedule your home inspection that you might want to ask your inspector, hey, do you check every outlet, or do you just check one outlet per room? So they're going to do that. They're going to open the windows, make sure that they stay open, that there's no safety issue, that first of all, that they do open. And if they do open, that they stay open, because it is a safety hazard if you open your window and it won't stay open. And that's something that needs to be addressed. They're going to run the water, make sure that it gets hot and cold, that the hot and cold are on the right side. They're going to, check the doors, make sure that the doors latch properly, check and see if there's space, if you can see light in between your doors that are exterior doors, and so much more. They're going to go through and do a full check of your home, and note things. So one thing I want to say too is that if when you get that home inspection, don't be terrorized, because the home inspection can be very, very long. It can be very, very detailed, but the home inspector is just really there to provide information. So for the roof, they might tell you that, hey, this roof looks like it has 5 years left, or it's in good condition. I forgot to say, they'll also run the dishwasher. If there's a garbage disposal, they'll run those things. Anything that's a fixture in the home, they'll turn the stove on, and each of the oven and each of the elements and things like that. But again, it is a snapshot in time, but they will also give you just an age, an estimate of how long, what life is expected on the roof, any appliances and things like that. So it is a very valuable investment to do that general home inspection. And in addition to that, there may be some other inspections that you want to do, like you may want to have a radon inspection. That's an odorless gas that's been known to be a carcinogen, so may cause cancer. And again, that is also a snapshot in time. So one of the inspectors that I worked with actually recommended that you do radon tests ongoing for yourself to make sure that things don't change in the earth and in your house and things like that. So that's a regular home inspection. You could get a radon inspection. You could get a pest inspection, and that is just going to check for things that can destroy your home, like wood destroying insects like termites. It doesn't check for other bugs and things like that, but you want to know if there's something that could be eating away the wood and destroying the structural integrity of your home. If you're out in a rural area, you may have to do, and if you're on a well and a septic, you may need to do a well and a septic inspection. So those are just a few of the inspections. And a lot of times inspectors will say if there's something that they can't check or if there's something they're not sure about, they may recommend that you hire a structural engineer to give you more detail, or hire an HVAC inspector or a plumber or something like that that can come in and look at that specific item, because they're just looking at the basics of it. So that is what your home inspection is. And even if a seller is saying that they're selling their home as is and they're not going to make any repairs, one, I always say do it so you can know, even if they're going to stick to they're not going to make any repairs and they're not going to make any adjustments, you know what you're getting into. You can go into your situation with your eyes wide open. You may still move forward with the home, and you can also always, as a buyer, always ask, even if they've told you that they're not going to do any repairs or going to be selling the house as is, you can ask for repairs still. You can ask for a credit still. You can ask for a closing cost. So there still may be some negotiations. And if there's some type of material fact that is discovered, sellers may be more willing to negotiate and do that, because at this point now they might know this material fact and it's something that needs to be disclosed, or whatever issues that need to be done. So that is just a basic overview of the home inspections. If you are selling, most of the time buyers are going to have their own home inspection. But if you're selling and you want to know the status so that you avoid surprises, or if you know that you want to sell as is and you want to kind of disclose everything, you can get a home inspection, a pre-listing home inspection. And then from there, you can decide, I'm going to adjust these and make these repairs, or I'm going to just disclose this home inspection and let people know that I'm pricing it accordingly. And these are the things that we found. And, do, like I said, understand that still most buyers are going to still have their own home inspection. So different things could come up because it is just a snapshot. But for major things, it's a good way to get a good idea of what is going on with your home. So that you can either, like I said, disclose, address, or decide how you want to handle things. So that is the basics of a home inspection. So if you are doing new construction, like I mentioned before, I think it's very key to still do a home inspection for new construction. If you are starting from the ground up, there are many different steps of home inspections that you can have. You can have the foundation inspection when the foundation is poured. Then you can have a pre-drywall inspection when before the drywall goes up. You can then also have your regular home inspection after that. And if you are building from the ground up or wherever you're starting, I recommend that you have all of those inspections, because I have not had a home inspection that did not find something, even for the foundation, for the pre-drywall. And if there's something that it can be done pre-drywall and addressed, it makes it a lot easier for you to find out and to see and address it before the drywall goes up, so that the builder doesn't have to go back in and tear the drywall up because they realized that the hot and cold water were set up wrong, or just other little things that can happen pre-drywall. And also with that pre-drywall inspection, you can kind of see where things are behind your wall, so that you can make note of that when you're getting ready to decorate and put things on the wall. So home inspections. So if you are going back to, if you're a buyer and you have that home inspection, again, like I mentioned before, even if the seller is saying that they are not going to do any repairs, because when you sign that North Carolina standard offer to purchase and contract, you're saying you're buying that home as is. But when you do get those inspection results, you do have the opportunity to go back to the seller and try to negotiate. You can negotiate for them to do the repairs. You can also negotiate for them to just reduce the price, to give you some sort of credit towards closing, to put something in escrow, to cover something after closing. So there's lots of different ways to deal with the inspection results. But again, if even if they're saying absolutely not, you are going into it with your eyes wide open so that you know what you're getting into and what you can expect, and then you can make an informed decision. And I've had people to walk away from homes because something has come up in the inspection and either they didn't feel comfortable, even if the seller said, I'm going to fix it, they just didn't feel comfortable moving forward. So um, definitely have that done. And then when you get your home inspection, I do always encourage my buyers to be there at least towards the end of the home inspection. It's really no need to stand to be there for the full 2, 3 hours or however long it is, but plan to be there in the last 30 to 45 minutes so that the inspector can give you an idea of what they found, and maybe even show you a few things that you know about the home itself, that you may not have known. So just keep that in mind when you're doing your home inspections. If you can be there, then plan to be there towards the end. Um, let's see. So that's really about it for home inspections. Like I said, it is something that I strongly, strongly, strongly encourage. Obviously, I cannot force anybody to get a home inspection, but it is in your best interest for your own protection to get that home inspection. I will say that make sure that you are getting a licensed home inspector, because that's your negotiating tool. You can't have your dad, your uncle, your cousin, your sister, whoever that just knows houses and does things. It needs to be a licensed home inspector for it to be recognized, and to be able to use that as a negotiating tool with the seller to get get the work done or repairs done. Once you have that done, you also might have the option, or have the option to, if the seller has agreed that they're going to do the repairs, you may want to go back out and have that inspector go back out and inspect those repairs just to make sure that they were done up to par and up to standard. And then you want to get receipts for the work that's been done. So those are just a few pointers on why you want to get a home inspection and some of the things that you want to look at with the home inspection. So just wanted to jump on this special Tuesday edition of Make Your Move Monday and talk about home inspections and share that. Just a couple of announcements. My listing at 517 Woodwinds is still available. It is waiting, and it's ready and waiting for you. 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom townhome with a lot of new updates, a lot of the heavy lifting done, new roof, new decks, new gutters, fresh paint inside and out. Bathroom has been updated, and the seller is offering up to $10,000 towards your closing cost as the buyer. So that can help you with the buy down for your interest rate and get that payment done. And I think there is a little bit of room in that 10,000 to do not just the buy down on your interest rate to get your payment down, but also to prepay some of the homeowners association dues for the first year. So reach out to me about that. 517 Woodwinds Drive. It's in Woodcroft subdivision, conveniently located in Durham near South Point Mall, close to 40, close to the airport, close to UNC, Duke, NC State. Just a great location to get where you need to get and be there. So that's available. And then also the Triangle Wealthy Group is hosting the second part 2 of multifamily commercial real estate investing. That will be at New American Funding on Saturday, December 13th at 2 o'clock. You can register for that at twgpresents.com. And then we'll have a slew of events and activities and educational information sessions coming for both my fellow real estate professionals as well as you, our consumers and people that are interested in real estate for buying, selling, or investing coming in 2026. So you all be safe, stay warm, and enjoy this beautiful, cold, rainy day here in North Carolina. And don't forget to make your move, because every step counts. We'll talk to you next Monday.